This was revealed during the First Lady Monica Gengo's frank weekly conversation with medical and mental health experts. Taking questions from the social media users and viewers, the panelists shared views on vaccines, myths, and preferences. There are questions around the types of vaccine. Question 1 is, why aren't the elderly advised to wait for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine as the president?
I don't think Johnson Johnson vaccine is the only vaccine that you can use for elderly. AstraZeneca is a vaccine that you can use clearly in elderly people. It's been studied in that population. The Sinopharm vaccine, the WHO currently doesn't make a recommendation in the group older than 60 because it's been studied. And I think in last week's discussion, I clearly indicated that one should not generalize one recommendation to everybody. I think that's a dangerous thing. If I, for instance, say any 80-year-old or 70-year-old or how old should wait for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine without taking into account the whole health profile of a specific individual, I will make wrong recommendations. So I think one has to individualize and not take the individual recommendation as a blanket rule for everybody.
Before this session, we did speak to the officials at the Ministry of Health and asked them specific question on vaccines, because this is becoming a big question about why can't I also wait for Johnson & Johnson? And the answer that we received, and which the Executive Director's Office agreed to be quoted on, is that there are two vaccines that are on order, Sputnik and Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson was supposed to have arrived a long time ago, but there are global supply problems at the moment that are delaying it. So it's part of the procurement that they did with the African Union COVID Acquisition Task Force. The date that they've now been given is August. The challenge with then saying, I'm going to wait for Johnson & Johnson, you can be told in August that, sorry, our factories across the world are not delivering. The new date is December. God willing, because you're not assured that December is going to come. So this thing of waiting for the ideal vaccine is dangerous.
Currently, only AstraZeneca and Sinopharm are in use amid reports of insufficient quantities. The Ministry of Health and Social Services is currently busy with regional distribution assessment since the vaccinations did not commence at the same time.
We had a situation where you find that during the time of distribution, some regions got more than what they need, and some regions got less. We are now in the stage where we review the distribution of the vaccine. Those who have more than what they need, to give to those who have less than what they need.
Namibia received 100,000 doses in donation from China, 30,000 doses of AstraZeneca from India, as well as 24,000 doses through the COVAX facility. Blanche Koreses, NBC News, State House.